The night settled softly over the old apartment building, leaving only the hum of distant traffic and the faint glow of hallway lights slipping under Liam's door. The city felt quieter than usual, too quiet, almost. Liam sat on the small sofa near the window, knees tucked in, blanket wrapped around his shoulders as though it could silence the anxious flutter in his chest. He tried to focus on the warm lamplight beside him, on the gentle shadows across the room, on anything steady, anything safe. But the silence didn't last. A sharp clang echoed from outside the building, metal hitting concrete, sudden and violent. The kind of sound that didn't belong in the stillness of midnight. Liam's breath caught. His eyes widened. His heart stumbled into a panic he knew too well. He set his mug down with trembling fingers. Another sound followed. A scrape. A thud. His pulse spiked. His body curled inward. His chest wanted to close. He tried to breathe, but the memory of another night, another noise, pushed forward like a shadow he thought he'd outrun. His vision blurred at the edges. His hands shook uncontrollably. His panic rose so quickly it felt impossible to stop. He didn't hear his own small sound, the soft gasp leaving his throat. He didn't hear the footsteps outside his door. He didn't even notice the faint knock at first. But the second knock landed gentler, more careful. Then came a low voice, steady, calm, familiar. "Liam? You awake?" It was Mr. Hartley, his landlord, the man who lived one floor down. Quiet, reserved, older by at least 15 years. A man who spoke like he measured every word before letting it go. Another knock, soft this time. "It's all right. I just wanted to check something." Liam forced himself to stand, even though his knees felt weak. The room tilted for a moment, but he reached the door and opened it halfway. Mr. Hartley stood in the hallway wearing a dark sweater, sleeves pushed to his elbows, hair slightly tousled as though he'd left his bed quickly. The warm light from the wall lamp softened the lines of his face. His gaze dropped immediately to Liam's shaking hands. "Someone knocked over the bins outside," he said gently. "Probably wind. You okay?" Liam tried to answer, but the words stuck in his throat. His chest tightened again. A tremor ran through him uncontrollably. Mr. Hartley's expression changed. Not annoyed. Not surprised. More like concerned in a way that steadied the air around him. "Liam," he said softly. "You're shaking." Liam swallowed, gripping the doorframe. I'm fine. Sorry. It's stupid." "It's not stupid." Something in the man's tone, quiet but firm, washed over Liam carefully, the way warm water comforts cold hands. After a long pause, Mr. Hartley asked, "May I come in?" Liam nodded weakly and stepped back. Mr. Hartley entered with slow steps, like he didn't want to startle him. He closed the door quietly, then glanced around the dim apartment. Only one small lamp was on, casting the room in soft gold. He didn't crowd Liam. Didn't reach out. Didn't move too close. He simply said, "Let's turn on a bit more light, yeah?" No pressure. Just an offer. Liam nodded again. Mr. Hartley clicked on the overhead fixture, but dimmed it halfway until the room glowed warm and gentle. He waited a moment, studying Liam's breathing, still too fast, too shallow. Then he moved toward the sofa. "Come sit." Liam followed him, because his legs didn't feel steady. When he sat, the blanket slipped off his shoulder, and he wrapped his arms around himself without thinking. Mr. Hartley sat at the other end of the sofa, close enough to be grounding, distant enough not to overwhelm. His posture was calm. Shoulders relaxed. Hands loosely clasped. He didn't speak right away. He just let the silence grow soft again. When Liam's breath stuttered, Mr. Hartley's voice lowered. "I heard something fall outside. Then I heard you. Just a little sound." He hesitated. "You sounded scared." Liam shut his eyes, embarrassment tightening his throat. It happens sometimes. I'm sorry. I know it's weird." "Nothing about this is weird," Mr. Hartley said. "You were frightened. Anyone would be." Liam opened his eyes. The man's gaze held steady, quiet, understanding, patient in a way Liam wasn't used to. "I don't usually let people see me like this," Liam whispered. "You don't owe me an explanation," Mr. Hartley said softly. "You don't owe anyone anything." Another tremor went through Liam, and he inhaled shakily. Mr. Hartley's fingers curled slightly against his knee, like he almost reached out, but stopped, giving Liam space. "Do you want me to leave?" he asked. The question was so gentle, it almost undid Liam completely. He shook his head quickly. "No, please don't. I just don't want to be alone right now." "Then I'll stay," Mr. Hartley said simply. No hesitation. No worry about time or inconvenience. Just a steady promise. Liam exhaled a trembling breath. Some tightness in his chest loosened, not fully but enough. They sat quietly for a few moments, the room warm around them. Mr. Hartley spoke again, voice quiet enough to feel private. You looked like you couldn't breathe. Has this happened before? Liam nodded. Noise sometimes. Loud nights. Or unexpected things. He hesitated. Old stuff. From when I lived somewhere else. It comes back fast. Mr. Hartley listened with the kind of attention that made the world feel slower. Liam's hands shook again, but softer this time. I don't want to be a problem. You're not a problem, Mr. Hartley said. His words were gentle, but they held weight, like something he'd been wanting to say for longer than a moment. When Liam's eyes grew damp, he looked away quickly. Sorry. I'm being dramatic. You're being human, Mr. Hartley answered. Something in his tone, soft but determined, slid under Liam's defenses. It made his heart ache in a way he couldn't explain. The panic wasn't gone, but it no longer felt like it owned the room. Mr. Hartley leaned back slightly, keeping his voice low and warm. Just breathe with me. Slow. In and out. Liam didn't think he could. Not until he saw the man inhale gently, chest rising, shoulders steady. Liam followed. One breath. Then another. His heartbeat, though still fast, began to soften its frantic rhythm. The silence in the small living room settled into something warmer, something steadier. Liam's breathing had eased enough that the trembling softened into tiny shivers he could manage. Mr. Hartley remained on the other side of the sofa, shoulders relaxed, presence anchoring the space with a quiet strength. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Mr. Hartley shifted just slightly, his voice low. Do you want a glass of water? Liam nodded, loosening his arms from around himself. Mr. Hartley stood with the same calm care he'd shown all evening. He moved to the kitchen, turned on a small counter light, and let the brightness spill softly across the room. Liam watched him, broad shoulders under a worn sweater, steady hands finding a clean glass, the faint lines around his eyes softened in the glow. When he returned, he held the glass out with a gentle tilt, waiting until Liam's shaky fingers wrapped around it. Take small sips, he murmured. Liam did. The cool water steadied him a little more. Mr. Hartley sat again, leaving the same respectful space between them. But something had shifted. The distance wasn't a wall. It felt intentional, protective, like he was giving Liam a space to breathe, not a space to hide. After a stretch of quiet, Mr. Hartley said, I didn't mean to wake you. You didn't, Liam said softly. I was already awake. Couldn't sleep? Liam shook his head. Not really. I don't sleep well most nights. Something passed through Mr. Hartley's expression, gentle sadness maybe, or the quiet understanding of someone who had known long nights too. You don't have to talk about it, he said. But if you want I'm here. Liam looked toward the window. The city lights blurred softly against the night. His fingers tightened around the blanket. It's old stuff, he whispered. I left a place that didn't feel safe. And sometimes my brain forgets I'm not there anymore. He hesitated, then exhaled. Noise at night, it's the worst. Mr. Hartley nodded slowly. Your body remembers what it survived. The sentence settled between them like a fragile truth Liam had always known, but never heard spoken aloud. He turned toward the older man. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. Because you're tired, Mr. Hartley said softly. And someone scared shouldn't have to pretend. The kindness in that line curled around Liam's ribs until his chest felt too full. His eyes grew warm again, but not with panic this time. With something else. Something gentler. You always talk like you already know what people need, Liam murmured. Mr. Hartley's lips lifted in the faintest, almost shy smile. I don't. I just try not to make things worse. The smile faded, and his expression grew more serious, warm, focused. Liam, it's all right to want someone nearby. Liam's pulse fluttered, softer than panic, more like a quiet recognition. He didn't answer, but he didn't need to. Mr. Hartley leaned back slightly, giving space again, but his voice remained warm. Do you feel any steadier? A little, Liam murmured. Still shaky, but better. I'm glad. The room dimmed gently as the wind brushed the window. The soft lamp glowed across both their faces, drawing lines of light along Mr. Hartley's jaw, highlighting the small crease between his brows that made him look quietly concerned. Liam found himself watching him more than he meant to, or maybe more than he was used to allowing himself to. There was something comforting about him, his stillness, his warmth, the way his voice lowered as though trying not to disturb the fragile calm that had settled in the room. Liam shifted slightly, pulling the blanket around him again. but the motion made his breath catch in a small, involuntary tremor. Immediately, subtly, Mr. Hartley's posture changed. Another wave? Yeah, Liam whispered. This time, the man didn't hesitate. He didn't move closer, but he angled his body toward Liam, open, steady grounding. Look at me, he said softly. Liam did. Mr. Hartley's gaze was warm but firm. You're here. You're safe. And nothing outside that window is going to reach you. Liam swallowed. His eyes shimmered. You sound so sure. I am sure. Liam looked down, breath shaky. You don't even know everything. It doesn't matter, Mr. Hartley said. I know you're scared. And I know you're not alone right now. The words pressed gently into the air. Liam tightened the blanket around his shoulders, trying to ground himself in them. I'm sorry you have to deal with this, Mr. Hartley added softer. I wish the world had been kinder. That did it. A tear slipped down Liam's cheek before he could stop it. He wiped it away quickly, embarrassed, but a quiet breath escaped him, relief mixed with something he hadn't felt in a long time. Safety. Mr. Hartley noticed, but he didn't make it dramatic. He simply said, Good. Let it out. Liam didn't sob. He didn't break. He just breathed, tearful but steadying, like a wound finally getting air. After a long moment, he whispered, Can you stay a little longer? Mr. Hartley's answer came without pause. As long as you need. Liam's fingers eased their grip on the blanket. Thank you. You don't have to thank me, he murmured. Midnight can be cruel. No one should face it alone. He shifted on the sofa then, slowly, carefully, moving a little closer but still leaving a respectful space between them. Close enough to share warmth. Not close enough to overwhelm. Liam's breath softened, his panic ebbing into something quieter. Mr. Hartley watched him with gentle focus. Tell me what helps. Liam hesitated. No one had asked him that before, not like this. Not with patience. Not with care. After a moment he whispered, Just talk to me. All right, Mr. Hartley said. His voice dropped into an even softer timbre, like warmth sliding into the room. What do you want me to talk about? Anything, Liam said. Your day. Your work. Something normal. Mr. Hartley gave a faint breath of a laugh, quiet, warm, the kind that softened the room. My day wasn't exciting. That's fine. The older man rested an arm on the back of the sofa. I fixed a loose banister on the third floor. Sorted the mailroom, because someone keeps stacking packages too high. A tiny pause. And then I realized the building felt too quiet tonight. Liam blinked at that. Too quiet? Mr. Hartley nodded. Quiet can be peaceful. But sometimes it feels like something's missing. He hesitated, the smallest vulnerability in his eyes. I didn't realize until I heard you that I'd been listening for something. Liam's heart fluttered again, soft, warm, aching. He sat a little straighter, blanket slipping enough that a small part of his arm brushed Mr. Hartley's sleeve. The man didn't flinch. He didn't pull away. He stayed. The contact was barely anything, but it steadied Liam's pulse in a way he hadn't expected. They stayed like that, quiet, warm, close but careful, as the night deepened outside. And for the first time in a long time, Liam felt the possibility of a connection he hadn't dared imagine. Something slow. Something gentle. Something he didn't have to fear. Mr. Hartley stayed until Liam's trembling eased, the room settling into a softer calm. When Liam finally looked up, there was steadiness in his eyes again. You all right now? Mr. Hartley asked quietly. Liam nodded. Yeah, I think so. A small, careful smile passed between them. Mr. Hartley rose, but he didn't step back. If another night feels heavy, knock on my door. Don't stay alone. Liam's breath caught, warm, grateful. I will. And for the first time in a long while, the space between them felt like the start of something gentle. It felt safe tonight, finally. Mr. Hartley watched him with quiet care. There you go. You're doing well. They breathed together again. Slow. Even. Liam whispered. You don't have to stay the whole night. I'll stay, Mr. Hartley said, until you feel steady. The words wrapped around Liam like a blanket warmer than the one slipping from his shoulders. Outside, the wind brushed the windows. Inside, the room held something new, still fragile, still quiet, but unmistakably safe. And for the first time in months, Liam felt the faint but real sensation of not being alone.